The year is 1995. Robin Williams gives yet another incredible performance in Jumanji. One of the greatest comedic actors in history. He absolutely delivered one of the most iconic films, family friendly films, what have you. So it is going to be incredibly difficult to provide a sequel 20 years almost, but we got Jumanji. Welcome to the jungle. Can it possibly live up to such an epic movie? It's pretty darn good. Way better than I expected. This film stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Karen Gillan, Jack Black, and Kevin Hart. They are actually avatars. They are ancillary characters that kind of steal the show. See, there's four teenagers that are given detention for varied reasons. They're from different social classes. There's like a preppy mean girl, there's a social outcast boy, a social outcast girl, and then a jock. So they they are given this menial task in their detention of taking staples out of a magazine. I guess that's a thing. So they're tasked with that. They immediately give that up when they find this, lo and behold, old archaic video game system that looks like an amalgamation of a Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, and an Atari. I aged about 5 years when they were looking at it, but that's something that is near and dear to me, that kind of stuff. So, but anyway, it's cool them playing these 32-bit graphic games, but it's Jumanji. See, what happens is Jumanji has updated itself for the present day generation. No longer is a board game what everyone wants to play. They want to play video games. So these kids play the game, and right off the bat, they are zapped into it. Kind of like a Tuned In. Remember Tuned In? Am I dating myself? I think I'm dating myself. Somebody's got it, right? So anyway, they're thrust into Jumanji. We are actually given a glimpse. Wait, we're thrust right in there of Jumanji. Jack Black, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Karen Gillan, and Kevin Hart are all these different avatars, and they have to figure out a way to survive, to get back out of this game. I was looking into it, and Jake Kasdan directed this film, and I'm like, man, I recognize that name. I was looking through his filmography. He did Bad Teacher, and he did a movie that is one of the best movies of its year in 2007, Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. Incredible movie. And he did this one, and I think it's a pretty darn good movie. He is the writer-director, and I think he's proving that he can make a good little action comedy. I should say big. I'm sure this budget was pretty huge, but it was a lot of fun. I'm not about spoiling certain things, but there's some cheese throughout, and I'm just giving you that so you know. Just know that there's going to be some cheesy moments in this film, but it's not back to back. There's plenty of laugh out loud moments in this. Jack Black is transformative. He plays basically a 17-year-old girl, and he's got the mannerisms, the characteristics down pat. It's a little bit more difficult, I think, for Dwayne Johnson to try and play like a sheepish 17-year-old dweeby kid, but he definitely is awesome. I'm a huge fan of all four of these. Kevin Hart is a formerly 6'5" kid who's now about a 5'2" kid or adult. And Karen Gillan is the shy, awkward girl who becomes kind of like a Lara Croft Tomb Raider type character. And she's awkward too. And she has one of the best bits in the film. I'm not going to ruin it, but it's pretty darn funny. There's plenty of darn funny moments in this film. Bobby Cannavale plays the villain, and I would have liked to see more of him. He's definitely creepy. He's not over the top, despite what you see him do. It seems like it could potentially be a little over the top, but they've shown in the previews. But he does that guy is phenomenal at what he does. It was really refreshing to see him back on the big screen. But yeah, overall, I thought this movie was a lot of fun. My crowd was I'd say about 75% full. Pretty darn good for an afternoon show, and they were loving it. A lot of kids having fun. When they'd say butt or something, the kids are going crazy laughing. It's just one of those good. I consider it a family-friendly film. PG-13'd up, and it was a good time. I think there's a really good camaraderie. We've seen Central Intelligence with Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson, and despite being polar opposites, it's kind of like the Danny DeVito Arnold Schwarzenegger dynamic. Polar opposites, man, they're funny. All you got to do is have some good collision of personalities, and it's a good time. Overall, I give it a big thumbs up. Jack Black, he did a great job. Karen Gillan did a great job. All four of the main. I will say that the kids, they had kind of the weaker part of it, but they weren't bad by any means. I give it a thumbs up. I recommend it. I'd love to know what you guys think. Please subscribe and share my videos. Leave a comment. What rating would you give it? Do you have any recommendations for other movies? Maybe even ones you would recommend to avoid. Leave a comment and let me know what you guys think. I love talking about movies. Let's talk movies.